as you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to
Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
That's right, we're back. It's going to be a different week again this week, guys. Just want to give you a heads up. There's a lot of shit going on. I got a brand new computer that's going to make me do amazing things. Well, it's a tool, so hopefully I do amazing things on it, I guess. But it's going to cut my time in like half on rendering and all this other stuff. So I'm super fucking excited. And for those of you who are, following the stream and stuff, it's going to be nice. It's going to be super nice.
Real nice.
Yeah. I might do a video of the computer in like the room if I can get this fucking place to look nice. So,
Show off.
Right. But to give you guys an idea, today we are going to be talking about a woman in horror movie month that we picked. But it's also a combo because it's also Black History Month, and we wanted to honor it for this as well. In fact, the day that we're recording this is technically Black History Month for the Women in Horror Month Challenge. If you haven't already, you can check out Mark Dout's article that he wrote about the movie Abby from 1974, which is a blaxploitation film that was like The Exorcist, but they called it The Blaxorcist. So it's a really interesting read. You should check it out. Also, Kyle did a review on a trauma movie called Hectic Knife, and watching the trailer alone is just batshit. So,
As most trauma movies are.
but yeah. So if you haven't checked those out, you should check them out. Subscribe to our news and reviews. It's always going to be updated with new stuff all the time. We've been really busy with it. But the movie that we're going to be talking about today is none other than Gothika. And that movie is with Halle Berry and numerous other people. We mentioned this in the last episode, but there's not very many black female leads in horror movies. So we wanted to focus on one title that was kind of a different title than we would normally pick. And Brittany and I agreed on Gothika. So,
Yep.
But it's kind of an unsung hero for women in horror in general.
Yep. I agree.
But how have you been, and how's everything going with you?
I've been fantastic.
Fantastic.
I hadn't done anything interesting this week, unfortunately.
Really?
Not yet, but fantastic.
What do you mean?
Oh, I didn't. We didn't get to go to wrestling on Monday, so.
Yeah, but I saw all those. You were out and about doing stuff, fun stuff, I think.
What did I do?
I don't know. I thought I saw photos up. Maybe I was wrong.
Oh, well, I was supposed to have a photo shoot last week, but that didn't work out.
Oh,
so
that's what I was thinking, maybe.
Then I just went to the club looking like an asshole, but I guess that's not that far out of the ordinary for me. So that was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then Saturday night we went out to Shadow Play at Rips, which is like a 80s kind of,
goth industrial?
like, goth night, I guess. It's not really 80s
It's not really
goth.
industrial anymore.
It's like there's 80s goth, new wave, like all whatever. It's mostly 80s music.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
it is.
pretty much the revival of goth.
Yeah, but it's
and
fun.
independent music, sort of.
Yeah. Then we went back to our friend Josh's house that we haven't seen in forever and just kind of chilled there, and I fell asleep on his couch. That's all I remember. I don't know.
You're like, I'm done, dude.
I fell asleep. Yeah. Well, it was like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, I'm done.
Right.
So, but yeah, we were supposed to go hiking tomorrow for Mouse's birthday,
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
but it's going to be snowing, so we can't go hiking.
It's fucking cold out right now.
It's glorious. Like, the weather is fantastic, but
Normally not like that here in Arizona, guys, so.
yeah, it's like a weird cold snap. But I think it snowed there today, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow. Like, last I checked, the high in Flagstaff tomorrow is 29.
Oh, man.
So we're not going to, like, when we were going to hike this, like, lava cave and shit. Yeah, you're not fucking hiking that.
A
when it's
lava
snowing.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. The lava chute.
It'll basically be like
Yeah.
ice everywhere, and we'll just fall and die. So it's not gonna happen.
Dude, we went out for a cigarette right before we recorded, and I was like,
freezing.
Jesus Christ, it's fucking cold in
I'm
here.
just fucking shivering.
Or outside.
But-
from Arizona, guys. You got to understand, we're not used to this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I haven't really been doing too much. I've been keeping up with my action horror. I finished all of the Lethal Weapon series. I am now going to move on to the Last Boy Scout.
Excellent.
We watched The Ritual. That was really cool.
I've heard it was good.
The story is really interesting. It's really creepy and everything like that. The creature in it is amazing. It's really different. I wish they would have showed a little bit more of it. The ending kind of bothered me just a little, but it was kind of cool in the same regard. So I thought it was a good movie. So a lot of people are fucking going nuts over it.
Yeah, it's the general consensus I've seen right now is everybody going batshit.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I wasn't like, freaking out about it.
Frothing in your
Like,
mouth.
yeah, I wasn't coming in my mouth about it,
That's talent.
But I mean, it is good. I mean, I'm glad to see that they dipped into horror a little bit more. But yeah, so and I almost forgot. We actually have stickers now from our good friends at Jars from Mars. You guys can check out the link below or check our social media for that. It's an Etsy account. You can also add them on Facebook and Instagram. But they made BTV logo stickers that says BTV. We have about 15 different colors that you can pick from and 3 inches to 10 inches, guys, of a sticker that you could put on the back of your car, your laptop, wherever. But the money that we're raising for this will go to be split between us to help keep the podcast on. So she's going to keep these up. And I hope you guys can check them out and check out some of her other stickers. She's got bands, movies, different pop culture references and things like that. But it's actually pretty cool, guys. So, and the stickers are really nice. So check that out. And thank you so much, Neva from Jars from Mars. Thank you, guys. And I think it might be that time, Brittany.
No.
Oh, yes. Horse shots! So in the movie Gothika, guys, there was a specific thing that happened with a tattoo. It was a big key piece to the mystery thriller horror movie that it is. And it was a tattoo of Anima Sola, which is actually a thing we'll describe in the trivia of the movie a little bit more. But it is technically a tattoo of someone praying for somebody in purgatory, with flames all around them. So, Brittany came up with a pretty good idea, and she decided that we would add one ingredient, but we won't tell you what that is
I'm a
just yet.
genius.
Makes sense,
Everybody
right?
at home probably already knows. They're probably just like, well, duh.
Yeah, that would make
How-
sense.
How
You guys
smart
aren't
you gotta
that
be.
creative.
You're not that smart.
But so, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a Anima Sola shot, and the 3 ingredients that we put in this is Jim Beam. You put a shot of Jim Beam, a shot of amaretto liqueur, and one of our all-time favorites that made someone puke on the podcast.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it was Mike.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the second one to pop. I don't know who it's going to be, but
It's not gonna be.
I can't
me.
wait.
I can't wait.
Hopefully
Well,
soon.
it won't be me. So
I think
it'll
we've
be
been
you.
just getting better at mixing drinks, so it's not going to happen. But
Well, we're adults, and I'm just kidding, Mike.
oh,
I'm just kidding. I didn't even mean it that way, but I was like, oh no,
dude.
if he's listening, he's
it
gonna
was
think
fucking
I'm
radio
saying he's not
gold,
an
man.
adult.
He loved it. We loved it.
But
We
I
thought it
wasn't
was
even-
hilarious.
I wasn't even referring to him though. I was like, shit, I have to preface this. Like, I didn't mean you.
No, we love you, Mike.
He's gonna punch me in the face now.
But the third and final ingredient of the Jim Beam 1/4, the amaretto liqueur 1/4, and the half a shot of Fireball. Woo!
That's a secret. That's my creative genius plotting.
So we went ahead and did it early, so we don't have to I don't have to edit this whole goddamn thing up.
We went ahead and did it early. It's full frontal.
Oh, wow. That's like almost perfect.
Holy shit.
I am proud of you, Alex.
He's patting himself on the back.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
As Murray comes in.
Who's a good boy?
Murray's like, hi, I'm the good boy.
I'm the good boy. You got my toy, bitch? Yeah. Hi.
Anyway, so what do we cheers to? Like,
To Murray.
just cheers.
Cheers, bitch.
All right, to Gothika. It's not bad.
I like it.
It's actually pretty smooth.
I like it a lot.
It kind of like mellows out the fireball a little bit. I mean, you're
Fireball's
gonna
mellow.
the fireball is gonna be strong, but it mellows it out enough that it's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's just enough. I think it's that amaretto. Yeah, it's good though. So if you guys would love to try an Anima Sola shot from the movie Gothika, all you have to do is go to longlivethevoid.com and check out our hashtag horror shots right now. But other than that, that's it for horror shots. So we found and searched the internet for wonderful news about horror. This just in.
It's the fucking news! Here is the fucking news!
Okay, guys, so we got a little extra news for you today. There was actually a lot of really interesting things that happened, a lot of release dates, a lot of different stuff that's coming out. We kind of grabbed a mixed bag of it all. So, first of all, I posted about this recently, but Dread Central actually picked up a movie called Extremity, and it's from the guy who did the Clive Barker short story into a film called Dread. It's Anthony DiBlasi. He also did the movie Last Shift, which I always highly recommend to people. If you guys have not seen Last Shift and you are into supernatural sort of spooky stuff, and even particularly Satanism and shit like that, like this is, and like cults, this movie's awesome. So they're picking this up from the same director. I'm extremely excited about this because it's going to be released later this year as part of the Epic Pictures Dread Central Presents line. So they're really stepping up their game. I guess when they got bought out by the company, I can't remember the name, they really amped things up. Which, by the way, I got to mention this. I love the Dread Central website, but god damn, man, when I have to click on continue reading after waiting like 5 minutes, it really pisses me off. And I understand you got to raise money for this stuff, but fucking Christ, I love you guys.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
But they're going to be putting it out in the select theaters, and they were also going to be doing it on VOD and Blu-ray. David Bond produced the movie with Corinne Ferguson, and the script is based on concepts by Scott Swan, and the cast is headed by Dana Christina, Chad Rook, Playboy and Sports Illustrated cover model Ashley Smith, and her first feature, Jay LaRose from the Insidious and Saw franchises, Amina Tamite from Meatball Machine Kodoku,
Sweet.
and cult gore filmmaker Yoshiro Nishimura, who's from Tokyo Gore Police and Helldriver, who also created the special makeup effects in this movie. So Simon Sace, who constructed the Hellraiser puzzle box, the Lament Configuration, to be more accurate, and Decker's Mask for Nightbreed crafted Extremity's horrific masks. So the official synopsis describes Extremity as a psychological journey, stylized and surreal, based on the latest craze captivating horror junkie audiences' extreme haunts. Allison is an emotionally troubled young woman in her 20s who believes that confronting her trauma might be a means of exorcising her demons. Exorcise the demons. Anyway, she signs up for a trip to the perdition in which the only certainty is the promised experience of absolute, unadulterated terror. But the most purely frightening thing on display will prove to be Allison's own twisted psyche, which I think is pretty cool, and it's very similar to the concept of Dread. Have you seen the movie Dread? Have you read the Clive Barker short story?
Can't say that I have.
Dread was in a book, and I can't remember if it was the first or the second one. If you guys are book nerds out there and you love short stories, I highly recommend getting the splatterpunk novels 1 and 2. I fucking loved them. All some of the best writers in there with their short stories, and these are some really fucked up stories. And Dread was a story about a guy who is in college trying to make his final, thesis and everything to basically graduate and get maybe a fucking
job,
a grant.
Sorry.
So he basically tries, he coaxes his buddy into this and some other random girl who this other guy likes, etc., to basically tell everybody to tell them their fears and what they are, and he feels that he can cure somebody by scaring the fucking shit out of them, basically. And really, he's not really trying to cure them. He's just getting off on scaring people. One of the people is like locked in a room with a fucking slab of meat that's rotting for weeks on end, and she ends up having to eat the rotted meat, and she's a vegetarian.
Aw.
Like, it's really interesting. I think it's a really underrated movie. It's an independent flick, but the book is really great. I highly recommend you reading the short story from the Splatterpunk novels and then watching the movie, because it's very good. It's actually really, they did a really good job for the movie. Also in the news.
Sorry. So, Alex, guess what?
What?
One of my favorite shows that came out last year.
What's
I guess it was
that,
last year. I think
Brittany?
it was 2 years ago now, technically. Fuck.
What was that, Brittany?
Santa Clarita Diet. That's
Overrated?
What it was. You're an idiot.
What?
You're an idiot. That's what. Anyways, so Santa Clarita Diet is going to have a season 2. Fucking quite obviously. Anyways, but the series actually has a release date now officially. If you're not familiar with the series, I'm sorry that you're not.
Yeah.
It stars Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant. It's kind of like a suburban zombie fucking, I don't know.
It's a comedy.
Comedy, yeah. Zomcom, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
I don't
it's a twist on it.
It's fantastic, and it's funny, and I love Drew Barrymore, so I don't care what anybody says. You can fucking fight me over it. But the season 2 of Santa Clarita Diet will officially be hitting Netflix streaming on March 23rd. Happy belated birthday to me. Thank you, Netflix. I appreciate it. I will binge watch the fuck out of it and finish it in one day, just like I did the first
dude,
season.
as soon as it comes out, I'm going to watch something else.
Fuck you.
I can't wait. I can't wait, guys. No, I'm excited for you that like it, but I really just thought it was networky garbage with like a twist.
You can eat a dick.
I just didn't like it. I liked
No, it's
everyone
okay.
involved.
Not everybody. Yeah.
I liked the concept and all that. It just didn't get executed for me.
Did you finish it, though?
No, I didn't want to.
Okay.
I was turned off. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'd rather go watch like some crap. Like,
No. I'm sure you're not alone, but yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I hope you enjoy the second season. Okay,
We will.
Like, back off.
We will, Alex. We will enjoy it.
Blair Witch might have another movie or series. It was announced that there's a series in the works at Lionsgate. Apparently, Lionsgate is making some moves in the digital content space in their newly branded Studio L that Deadline reported on. The studio announced today their initial slate, which includes 3 features set to bow this spring, along with episodic projects in development. One such project, hiding deep within the story, is a series based on Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick's 1999 The Blair Witch Project, which spawned 2 sequels and a forthcoming documentary. So that'll be interesting. I'm actually more excited about the documentary.
Same.
And I'll tell you what, the new movie that they remade, the one that they did with, what's his name from Adam Wingard. I thought that was good. Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett, I thought they did a really good job. Everybody gave it so much shit. I still think it's really good. I thought it was creepy, weird, and it was unique and different. Yeah, they went up to the attic. That was dumb. That was a dumb move, but I guess it threw us for a loop. I still like the movie. The sound design in that movie is still by far some of the best sound design work I've ever heard. The creepiest shit, dude. Like, kudos to them. Like, seriously. Like, if you've not seen have you seen the new remake?
No.
Oh, dude, you need to. I think it's up on one of the websites.
Do I need to?
You need to. If you're expecting to be wild and like confused and think it's real, like the first Blair Witch, then lower your expectations. But it's still really good in my opinion. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's something that you'd be interested in?
I'm meaning to watch it with Jenny because Jenny was big on Blair Witch Project.
Mm-hmm.
The original, obviously. So
I like the original,
watch
but it
it with
doesn't.
her.
I think knowing the truth now has kind of ruined that movie. I still own it because it's like a piece of history,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't hate
also like something. It's nostalgia to me
Yeah.
because of what I experienced.
Did you experience?
I live 20 miles from where it
is-
supposedly took place, and technically 20 miles from where it was shot.
Show us on the doll where the witch touched you.
Right here.
Right here.
She didn't stop until I came.
Oh my god. Oh jeez, that escalated quickly.
Also in the news, we got the Hunt Showdown video game that just came out. I didn't realize that it was going to be out on early access this past Friday as quick as it was, or this past Thursday, I should say. They just dropped it up on Steam like immediately. I did play this game on my computer, which is above average. It's an above average computer. It's old as fuck and it's dying, and that's why I'm replacing it. But it's still above average what most people have, honestly.
mine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, most people don't have that. And it had a hard time running on it, and it killed my computer, but my CPU is dying, so I blame it on that a little bit. Mm-hmm. It, like, while in the middle of me streaming, it put me at a blue screen. But I'm not saying that that's going to happen for you guys. That's my own personal computer, okay? It's called a PC for a reason, all right? Just calm down.
Piece of crap.
No, but honestly, like, even though that happened and it freaked me the fuck out for about 3 hours during a stream, basically, it's out now. You can buy it early access for $30. It's going to eventually be like $40 to $60, I'm sure. So you can jump on now as long as you don't mind them building it and trying to build the community for it. It's got a lot of people who are supportive of it. It is really awesome. It looks really pretty. They're optimizing it each day. They're really putting a lot of work into it. And it's the Crytek people, so, you know, they push the graphics pretty high, so optimizing it comes second. But I think if you have a decent computer or a newer computer, it should work. Older computers, I'd be a little skeptical and might want to wait. So just a heads up. Also, Brittany had one.
Blumhouse's Halloween, guys, has officially wrapped filming. That's right. You heard
Right.
it correctly.
And when's it coming out, Brittany?
Well, there's no solid release date yet.
Oh,
but
yeah, there is.
It's anticipated to be released on October 19th
Oh,
of this year. It's not a solid release date
What am I
yet, but
talking
that's
about?
the anticipation.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's October 19th.
It makes sense. I mean, it's wrapped now. They have enough time, I would feel like, to release
They
it.
may
but
push-
I don't know what all goes into making a movie. 'cause I
If
don't
John
make them.
Carpenter does the music for it, they might push it back a little bit just for him, because I would.
You better.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it comes out on Halloween, because pushing it to like February would suck.
Yeah.
And I think that John Carpenter has been really behind this project. A lot of people surprisingly have been just like
Not.
extremely behind it. No, everyone's behind it, dude. Like,
Well, they
it's
should be.
technically supposed to be what Halloween 3 was
Should have
not.
been.
Yeah, what it should have been. Well, I
Dear
still
God.
like that movie.
Nah.
You pick on it, but you need to watch it again without the expectations of Michael Myers.
Okay.
But Nick Castle is going to be returning, and he even said that it's going to be as good as the first one. But, you know, I take that shit with a grain of salt.
Jamie Lee Curtis has been talking it up a lot, too. So.
Yeah, well, they're also paid. And they
Yeah,
want people
but-
to see it. And most people that are in the movie have no clue what it's going to be like until
The
it's
end.
done.
Yeah, you don't know.
Editing, After Effects, all that shit that you put into it, like everything that you do can change a movie drastically. So I'm going to wait till I see it to just jump on the bandwagon. But I'm still excited because it'll be interesting. First of all, it's super interesting, the people who made it happen. Like, what the fuck? What was this? Danny McBride? Like, what the fuck? Like, out of nowhere.
That's insane. Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested. I don't actually have any apprehension towards them doing this.
Right.
Like with most other films I have. So
Sure.
with this one, I'm like, no, I don't know. We'll see. And I really love the original. Obviously, I love it. It's a fucking classic, and I wish people wouldn't keep fucking with it. But I feel like if they're gonna do this the way that they should have done the third movie, fine,
Yeah.
give it a shot.
I'm open to it. I mean, we'll see how it is. I mean,
And I liked Rob Zombie's like versions.
I still liked it too. I thought it was a little more brutal. I thought that was kind of
That's
good.
why it was great.
Some people
'Cause
didn't like that. They
if-
thought it was too much.
But it fits more with the time. Like
I think
as
so, too,
to now, I didn't like the second one, but I love the first one.
I actually didn't mind the second one.
The second one was all right. It's just, to me, it really lost me because
I didn't like that whole end thing that they did, but
they didn't have the kid, so it killed me. It lost me from the beginning. It didn't have the same kid playing Michael Myers, so I was instantly
grown up.
I'm out.
Also, in the biggest news this past week, I would say, maybe for some, I think some are too young to know, but hashtag Fangoria Lives.
Woo!
And to give you guys a little bit of credit towards somebody, before this even broke, our writer, Kyle Laugh, actually was looking at the website and noticing some weird shit going on. And he was just happened upon it and then started posting it everywhere. Like, something's going on in Fangoria. Like, I don't know if they're, like, closing up shop for good or it's gone or what. And I kept joking with him, like, it's a fucking virus, dude. What are you doing? You're going to get a virus on your computer. He's like, shut the fuck up. But, yeah, Kyle pointed it out, and then literally the next day, Fangoria came out and apparently has been bought by Sin State, and they plan to brand expansion into movies again. Which, you know, say what you will, there are some good Fangoria movies. They aren't great. But I think it's kind of cool, man. Like, personally, Fangoria magazine was a huge thing for me as a kid. I loved it. It was expensive. I could never afford it as a kid. So every now and then, when I would go to the shelf at the grocery store, because I hated going to the grocery store with my mom, I would run to get the fucking Fangoria magazine, and I would look through it because I couldn't buy it. And I would just check it out, and I would just get in, like, oh, this is so cool, you know what I mean? I even still have, like, a huge stack of fucking Fangoria magazine. Yep. So it's coming back out, guys. A lot of people are behind it. I'm super excited for it. I'm going to be subscribed to it. I just got to. I think it's sorely missed. When it died and went away, a piece of nostalgia and childhood died on a lot of people. And for all you young bucks out there, get your fucking education on with this magazine, because these are the people that started a lot.
Yep.
There were other magazines. Rue Morgue is a good magazine. You know, they weren't Fangoria, but I still like them. Rue Morgue is still around, but Fangoria, I think there's room for it, guys, and I hope you guys support it like we do.
Definitely. Well, they're still doing conventions and shit. Like, they still do FearCon.
There's still a presence, but they finally got bought.
I mean, it's not very good, but cause we performed at it, and it was pretty terrible. But
well, I remember it's like you had the 2 months off, so you only got like 10 magazines a year.
Yeah.
I think it's like 2 or 3 months.
300 issues total or something, right? Or I think maybe there's more than that, but
there may be. You can buy their back copies, but a lot of people sell them for like ridiculous sums.
Well, they have access now to like 300 of them.
Right.
So.
Well, I remember Fangoria tried to do like this online thing for a little while, like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's too late. It was just too little too late. And it just didn't. There's something about holding that magazine and finding news about stuff before it broke. And I'm assuming they're probably going to get a lot of exclusive stuff, and then they'll release it somehow in bits to kind of coax you into getting the magazine. There's something about just flipping through the pages, guys, and just sitting there. It's like this ownership in horror, and I don't know. It's just you can't replace it by looking in a fucking magic window.
Yeah, I miss magazines.
Yeah, magazines really just it's like reading a book over a fucking, Kindle. There's ownership over it. It just feels like it's there, like you're a part of it. So anyway, I'll stop jerking off right now, but I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too. What do you guys think about the news this week? Let us know in the comments below. But that's it for the news. All right, guys. So now it's time for us to do our very final Women in Horror Month and Black History Month combined into one movie of epic proportions. Or is it? We'll let you know here in a little bit. But this is our flesh and potatoes of Gothika. Here we are, back for Flesh with Gothika, starring Halle Berry. Or Halle Berry. Whatever.
Well, Halle Berry.
Dude, I used to have the biggest crush on her when she was in
Everyone has the biggest
Boomerang.
crush on her.
Oh my God.
I still have the biggest crush on her.
I was so like, oh my God, this woman is amazingly beautiful.
She is. She still is.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just something about Boomerang. I don't know what it is, man. I was just like, holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
And then she did that thing with Billy Bob Thornton.
Swordfish.
Yeah, no, not Swordfish. It was that monster movie. Yeah, it was Monsters Ball. I
Billy Bob
apologize.
Thornton.
Came out in 2001, about 2 years before Gothika came out, but that was a big thing for everyone. I think a lot of people started liking Billy Bob Thornton. I think that's where Angelina Jolie was like, God, he's hot. Yeah. But anyway, more on Gothika.
No,
It
he's
came out in 2003, November 21st. The story, and actually, let me preface this. Gothika, by the way, guys, is a situation in which someone sees or feels things that no one else does, and those who don't think those who can are crazy instead of actually seeing these events unfold when they're actually not crazy. So that is what
It's an actual
Gothika.
word? I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was an actual
It's
word.
also spelled with a C instead of a K in this case.
Right.
But the story is a repressed female psychiatrist wakes up as a patient in the asylum where she worked, with no memory of why she is there or what she has done. It's directed by Matthew Kassovitz. He's a French director that is actually an actor that turned director in a way. He was in Amelie as an actor. He was also directed the movie Babylon AD and Rebellion. He's not directed a lot of big money movies, although Babylon AD was pretty big. It wasn't a great movie, but it was interesting. It was also written by Sebastian Gutierrez, who did Snakes on a Plane.
Yeah.
He did the remake of The Eye. He's also working on the remake of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, dear Lord.
So he's helping write that. The cast is Halle Berry. She plays Miranda Gray, Catwoman. She was in. Yeah. She was also in The Last Boy Scout, Boomerang, Bullsworth, X-Men movies. Like
Storm.
she's Storm in all the movies. And she was in this movie that I really like that I think is very underrated and unknown movie is called The Call, which is pretty good too. And she's been in a lot more, clearly. Also stars Penelope Cruz, who is Chloe in the movie. She is also in the movies Vanilla Sky, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, and Blow. Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie. He plays Pete Graham.
I totally forgot he was in it.
Yeah. He looks different, too.
He looks weird.
His eyes are weird.
But how
Like, I feel like he grew into his eyes.
was this was like this is like kind of new after he made a comeback, right? Or is
He
this
made a
like-
couple of
or is
comebacks
this
'cause he had a lot of-
before he like disappeared for a while.
He came back. I don't remember. He did the movie In Dreams, and I can't remember if it was before or after. I think that was his comeback movie.
Trying to like age the timeline for him because it's 2003. So I'm like, was this after he disappeared for a while or
I think it happened a couple of times though.
before? I don't know, but yeah, he looks really weird, and I completely forgot he was in it. And that
Right.
means he was completely unremarkable to me because I did not remember him in it at all.
Yeah, he's of course done Iron Man movies, The Avengers. He did that weird kind of thriller killer movie, which is called In Dreams, which I need to rewatch. He also was in Weird Science, Natural Born Killers, you name it.
It's Robert Downey fucking Jr. You know
Right.
who he is.
Yeah.
Basically.
If you've been living under a rock, go search these movies up.
You probably still know him.
Yeah. Charles S. Dutton also stars in this movie. He plays Dr. Douglas Gray, Haley's wife. He was in Alien 3, Cat's Eye, Crocodile Dundee 2, and Legion.
I have a funny story real quick to add into
Oh,
that
what?
with that actor. Mouse like looked at me at one point and he was like, "So, is he like the director of this movie or something?" And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "How the fuck did he get to be married to Halle Berry
Yeah, it is a little
in
weird.
this movie? Like, who the fuck cast him for this like,
You know,
this
when I was,
character?" And I was like,
when they kiss, I kind of was
"Ew,
like,
it's cringeworthy."
yeah, I was like, ooh, I wonder if but she went for
Well,
it.
he
She-
like eats her face. It's fucking
yeah.
weird.
He's like, well, I'm going to get one shot. I'm going to do it
I'm
right.
like, I'm doing it right. He's like, I'm getting in there.
This
Like,
motherfucking Barry.
but that's what Mouse is just like, how'd that happen? It's like, that's a valid question.
It also stars John Carroll Lynch, who plays Sheriff Ryan. He was in the new movie called The Founder. American Horror Story as the clown and John Wayne Gacy. He is also in Channel Zero, and he's also in one of my favorite movies is The Invitation by Karen Kusama, which he plays one of the creepiest roles in that movie, too.
He's great.
So it was like a perfect... This is pre-invitation as well, and I'm sure part of that, this role probably played into why he got the invitation. The budget for this movie was $40 million, and it made about $141 million at the box office. Oh. It's got a pretty low rating on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic.
No,
it's like 31%.
The movie's been like eaten alive.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's talk about it. What did you think of it, Brittany?
Well, I loved this movie when I first saw it. Which I probably was closer to like. I don't think it was 2003 when I first saw it. It's probably closer to like 2005, 2006.
Okay.
Ish. So I saw it a couple years after it came out, but I loved it. I really, really liked it. I thought it was different. It has a fucking twist in there that I didn't see coming, which I'm usually really good about picking up on shit like that. And it took me to a place that I did not anticipate it to take me to at all.
Right. Okay.
At all. And so I don't know. I thought it's an interesting take. It's a cool story. They do a lot of unique, different things. I don't know. It was something different than what I'd seen around the times.
Right.
So I really liked it. And to me, it still holds to this day. I've watched it a couple of times since it came out, and then, just watching it again now, and I'm like, I still like this movie.
I'm kind of a little bit on the fence with this one. Okay, well, I'll just tell you what I think. It's not a horrible film. There are some choices that they made in the movie that felt really fresh and unique, but then there are also areas where it doesn't, and it traipses over territory the likes of like Sixth Sense. More so, I would say it mirrors Stir of Echoes, and I can't remember which one came out first, but it is like Stir of Echoes, in my opinion, which I would say is a better film, a much cooler, more stylistic film than this one. Mm-hmm. I only say this because some of the choices they made in Gothika, like I said, they felt fresh. They also felt really unbelievable.
Well,
like
duh.
There was a lot of parts in the movie that I'm like, come the fuck on.
Oh, for sure.
Still, I mean, it kind of pushed me along as I was watching it. So, I did want to see what the hell happened. Wasn't completely irritated with the movie, but there were some parts that it's like, you really got to disconnect from reality.
Absolutely.
To kind of go along. Some of the dialogue was a little...
sleepy.
I don't know. The characters were enjoyable.
Yeah, the characters were interesting enough, but yeah, the dialogue wasn't strong by any means. And I completely agree with you. That's nonsensical as fuck. In a million, like half the fucking movie makes no sense.
I tried to write them all down, but I just gave up.
That's funny.
I was like, I'm just gonna watch the movie because usually, guys, when I watch a movie, I usually write down my favorite scenes. Anything that like strikes me as like, whatever. But I waited almost till the very end of the movie before I started writing any of my favorite scenes down. So that was a trigger thing for me. I did like Downey Jr. in this, and Halle Berry. Is it Halle? Halle Berry. I don't know why I have a problem saying that name. She's like super good. Like she's amazing.
She's incredible.
She could not save this film. And she's like, in my opinion, the best part about this. Mentally, physically, she is like so on point. It's amazing. She did everything that she should have done and better. But the story sort of failed me a little, and it really sucks to me because finding out, when we were looking for movies of female leads with the black female leads, we couldn't find any. And we were like, Jesus Christ, so although I will say that, even though this isn't like a great movie, it is a really good story for the strength of women and like what they can achieve, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But I really think that it's like, it's a strong female lead role. And I think that's what turned her on to doing the role. But yeah. It's kind of a little bit more in the thriller category, but it does have ghosts and shit in it. So it's horror, in my opinion.
We can argue semantics about that all day, every day, but like what makes a horror movie a horror movie?
Right.
To be honest, like you determine if a horror movie is a horror movie.
Right.
So.
I mean, all in all, it's still I think it's a good horror movie for the mainstream. It's not my particular taste.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch it again just when I forget what it's about kind of thing. And be okay with it, you know what I mean? But it's like a popcorn flick, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
You just pop it in and zone out. Nothing too much of substance, but enough to keep you watching. So
Right.
that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, I mean, it carries you through from start to finish, so that's really all you can ask for in a movie.
Right.
I've had a harder time watching lots of other movies, so
Oh, sure, but even
I'll go
those,
with it.
I think you just expect something of this caliber, a $40 million movie.
and huge actors.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of like talent in this movie.
A lot.
And man, I watched Downey play, and I even watched some of the interviews that he did during that time. Man, he's not very charismatic back then.
No.
He is now.
Yeah, he is now. He wasn't then.
Yeah, he's super
You can
charismatic now.
It's crazy. You can completely. I think playing Iron Man has really made him super charismatic.
Right.
To be
He's
honest,
got an iron
'cause that,
dick now.
That character
Yeah.
is how he is now outside of that
It is.
character.
It's almost
they're
like
the same person.
it's
so
true.
he has adapted Iron Man 100%.
But
anyway,
even when you see him in interviews
or Tony
now,
Stark.
he's just very charismatic. But you know, it comes with age, I guess.
I think so.
It's
He's
been
hot,
fucking
whatever.
15 years, so.
He doesn't have to say anything. Just stare at him.
I'm telling you though, it's weird. Like
He
I
looks
look at his
weird.
eyes.
Yeah.
His eyes look like little baby eyes.
He grew into them.
Yeah, like his head grew into his fucking weird eyes.
I think it's his hair. I think it's how they have his hair. Honestly, I
No,
think it's how
it's
they have
not.
his hair.
It's almost
weird.
like a different person.
Yeah, he's weird.
It's almost like he had like fucking plastic eye surgery.
He does look
I'm
creepy.
sorry, Downey, but your fucking eyes are weird in this movie.
Tripping us out, bro.
Yeah, you're
tripping
tripping
us
me out, bro.
It's weird.
He looks like he's gonna like suck on your head or something weird. Like, but when you when you
Pull
watch
Deborah Logan.
yeah.
Look how he's coming for you.
Dude, on Instagram, did you see my fucking post? I posted the fucking Deborah Logan thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, something about like, find out what we think about Deborah Logan sucking on a child's head and her crazy fetish with it and how to prevent
How to
old
prevent
people
old
from
people
doing
from
it.
feeding your children.
From doing it too.
Sucking on your children.
You want a gummy from grandma?
No, Grandma, fuck you.
Calm down, grandma.
Give me a word that's original. Piss off.
You're on the wrong head. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. Oh!
Oh!
That's out of control. Anyway, old
Get
people.
out.
Old
Get out.
people.
Go home.
Get out.
Get sleep.
Get out. Anyway, to give you guys an idea about the story, before we get into some of the trivia and then, of course, the spoilers.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that yet.
Well, the story is essentially about this doctor, this psychiatrist who works at a prison. She does criminal psychology, and she's trying to help out people who have really lost their minds. And she's very empathic, and she's like very caring of these people. She doesn't like to over-medicate them because that's like the simple solution. And you can tell that she really cares about people. And, but she's a little naive too, in some regards too. And I think one of the main points I think that is the epitome of the movie and kind of wraps it up at the end is the fact that Penelope Cruz says she tells Penelope Cruz, the Chloe character, you got to trust me. And she was like, how do you trust somebody that thinks you're crazy? Mm-hmm. And it's like, fuck, man, that's a really good point.
It's deep.
Yeah, that's some deep ass
Deep,
shit.
Penelope.
Fucking,
deep.
by the way, the movie opens up with Penelope Cruz talking about fucking
Slit in the throat.
slitting the throat of somebody like she's just like playing the part. And I was like,
Adam's
yeah.
apple, and I'm like, God damn. And then
Yeah, she's like, I cut it like a fruit.
yeah, like an apple or whatever. And she's like, well, why did you do it? So he'd stop fucking me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is the first like 2 minutes of the movie. And
Yeah,
I'm
like, calm down, Penelope.
Jesus Christ. Like, so I don't know. That was one of the things too when I first saw it. I was like, this shit's going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, this is good.
2 minutes in, and she's already like, so he'd stop fucking me after she's talking about him splitting an Adam's apple open like a piece of fruit on a summer's day or something.
Yeah,
like
on a
that.
summer's day.
And she's
yeah.
got that accent, and I love it. She's like,
It's like a piece of fruit on a summer's day.
I'm like, oh,
She's
we just
French,
went like
I'm pretty sure.
Penelope Cruz.
Yeah.
I don't think she's French. I think
Maybe.
she's Colombian.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, Cruz isn't a real
It's not French.
French name. Yeah, but she could be married. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. She could be. Who knows?
God, Brittany.
Sorry, she probably isn't even Colombian. I'm
Anyway,
probably
she's a
fucking
crazy
wrong, too.
bitch, okay? Like in the
She's
beginning of the
great. I
movie.
loved her.
And you really don't trust her at all. But the back and forth between her and then one day
She's Spanish.
she's
Sorry.
Spanish, but she
Just-
speaks French
Just
too.
Spanish, probably.
But she does kind of have like a weird accent. Anyway,
I love it.
English is not her first language.
It's what we're saying.
Okay, calm down.
Probably is.
Yeah. No,
Sorry.
I don't think it is, actually.
I don't either, but she'll tweets us. English is my first language.
Go
fuck you guys.
fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
She'll stop giving me a Godfather accent.
I'm a sick Twitter on you. Fuck the Beyond the Void.
Please don't.
Yeah, I know.
Don't kill us.
But anyway, so essentially her husband, she goes, you meet him. He's like the director of the fucking prison, I guess. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
Some
he's
psychiatric firm.
He's like basically like.
Why is she seeing him if she's, you know what I mean? Like, is that allowed?
I don't know what the fuck.
It's like fraternizing with the fucking people
they're married, so I don't know if they were married prior to coming on to working there, or if they met there and then got married. They don't explain that at all, but yeah, it seems kind of weird too, because it's like, but I don't know. I think you can, even though he's like the main boss and she's just a psychiatrist there, though.
Now when he sucks on her face.
Oh, he eats it. He pulled a Deborah Logan.
She was like, please stop.
Just straight up.
Brush your teeth.
Oh, leave Hallie alone. God damn.
He's
leave someone for the rest of us.
But to make a long story short, guys, essentially what happens is that she goes home that night. She's really good buddies with Robert Downey Jr. She goes to go home. The road's closed off. She has to go across this bridge off this side road when all of a sudden she sees a girl in the middle of the road. She almost swerves to not hit her. And then all of a sudden, like, she wakes up in a mental institution, like in the prison that she went to, where Chloe goes to, which I don't think would ever happen in real life, by the way. They don't put a psychiatrist that's, like, has patients in the same fucking hospital or prison or any of that shit. They would never do that.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
It seems like you can't, but, fuck it. They probably don't care. Probably would.
But her...
They put prosecutors and cops in the same prisons as people they put away.
Maybe. I just thought that was a little bit of a stretch. And then her doctor happens to be her friend Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Dr. Graham, who had to fight the system to get her, because that's also another thing. If you're too close to somebody, you really shouldn't do it.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, but they gave him some leeway to be her therapist because he knows her so well. And that she was also a really good therapist as well, like a psychiatrist.
Yeah, they needed the same battle of wits, I think.
Yeah, they needed somebody that was strong enough, and she was one of the... He and her were one of the strongest, but she was better than him. Anyway, so she finds out that she killed her husband, who is the guy who runs the psychiatric firm or whatever. So,
hospital.
And then everything unravels, pretty much like
with an
that.
axe.
Yeah.
She kills him with an axe.
Whoa. You don't jump into that yet.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm jumping into it.
But they play with you to make you think, did she do it or did she not? And if she did it, how is it? But you wonder if the girl that she almost hit is a ghost. But there is some interesting trivia. Did you want to go over some of that?
Sure. So Halle Berry actually broke her arm filming a specific scene in this movie, which was one of the first scenes that she has with Robert Downey Jr. after she's been committed to this hospital for supposedly killing her husband. So they're doing this hospital interrogation, and he's supposed to just grab her arm and twist, but he twisted too hard and actually snapped her fucking arm.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
And I'm like, damn, bro. Was he still on drugs, though?
Well, I mean, she is kind of...
She's frail,
thin, you know what I mean?
She's not that frail.
But Christ, man, calm down. Maybe he was doing coke?
Was he on drugs when he was filming? Because that's probably why.
Yeah, he was like, ah!
So they actually had to halt the production of the movie for 8 fucking weeks until her arm got
crazy.
better. Which is nuts. Good job.
He was like, oh, sorry, I heard a pop, and I was like, that was wrong.
Great job with your PCP strength, you dick.
Yeah, she had a spaghetti arm.
Break her fucking noodle arm. Sucks. I'd be so mad.
I would be like, Jesus,
I'd smack him with my cast. I'd be like, drug test that fool right now. He's got some crazy drug strength. So Halle Berry was listed as a potential nominee on the 2004 Razzie Award nominating ballot. If you guys don't know what the Razzie Awards are, it's pretty much the award show for making the worst movies ever made.
Right.
Or starring in the worst movies ever made or whatever. She was suggested in the worst actress category for her performance in Gothika.
I think that's fucked up.
But she failed to receive a nomination, however. So nobody agreed, I guess. Whoever put
Right.
up for it initially didn't actually agree. However, the next year, she got a nomination for Worst Actress in the film Catwoman in 2004, and she
Right.
won for the worst performance as Catwoman.
Well,
I'm like, come on.
Like they say, the first time you don't succeed,
Try again. To get a Razzie. I don't know. There's so many movies that have like won like a million Razzie Awards that I fucking love, so I really don't give a shit.
This movie actually won awards with like the
Like,
Teen
legit
Choice
ones.
Awards. It got MTV Awards. It got all these other awards. It got like 6 awards.
I don't know how legit those are, but
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Not Razzies.
well, Teen Choice isn't exactly a big movie, but it is a strong female movie. So, I mean, you know, that would make sense. Like, I don't know.
oh, for sure.
Um,
So this is the directorial debut for the director of the movie, actually.
In
Matthew
America.
Kasovitz. It's his first American film production,
right, yeah.
which I thought was pretty cool.
He was a French director. That's why I
Yeah.
didn't really recognize any of his other movies, really.
And then this one, and then I wanted to talk about John Carroll Lynch, actually, because I really like him.
Okay.
This is the first time John Carroll Lynch has actually portrayed a serial killer in film, which obviously, as we all know, he's gone on to portray many different serial killers in many other
Yeah.
films since then. Probably most notably for he was the Zodiac killer in the Zodiac movie in 2007. And then more recently, he was Twisty the Clown, and
Yeah.
or AKA, and I guess, well, no, and John Wayne Gacy in 2011's American Horror Story series.
Yeah, because I think he was at the one that was sitting at the table at the hotel.
He was John Wayne Gacy in Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was Twisty in the circus.
Right.
Whatever the fuck it was called. Freak Show.
But he's also in, well, no. Oh,
Yes, 2 seasons.
yeah, it was Freak Show, and then he was also
Yeah.
in this newest one, the Cult.
Oh, I haven't watched Cult yet.
It's pretty good, actually.
But yeah, he did. So he's done 3 now. But yeah, Freak Show as Twisty, and then John Wayne Gacy in Hotel. Which
Right.
I knew exactly who he was the second he was on the screen, which I was hoping that they'd actually have him play John Wayne Gacy at some point, because he should. Mm-hmm. He fucking looks just like him.
Have you seen...
Even though Gacy, like the movie like that they did,
I don't think he looks just like him.
he looks pretty close. The guy that plays him in the movie though was pretty good. I think really spot on. But he does a good job. I think he's convincing as John Wayne Gacy. I'm just
Okay.
gonna put it at that.
I had a few things, though. There was a couple of interviews that I watched, and Robert Downey Jr. said that they'd asked him if he believed in ghosts and, like, what he thought about it, and he said that he did believe in ghosts. And then she was like, well, have you seen one? And he was like, I did. And he was like, she was like, and what happened? And he was like, I got scared. But then he sort of joked about it afterwards, so I don't know if he was being serious or just trying to push the...
He probably just wanted to change conversation.
Maybe.
He's just like, yeah,
He was really awkward in the
I saw a ghost.
interview.
Freaked me out. He probably didn't be like, I was high out of my fucking mind and thought I saw a ghost.
Right. Maybe he
And
thought he was being charismatic.
Then I ran someone over with my car, and it wasn't actually a fucking ghost. I don't know. Maybe he had some fucking crazy story, and he didn't want to talk about it.
They also asked Halle Berry if she believed as well, and she said she sort of saw one. She did a role where it was about Dorothy Dandridge, and she had one of her dresses, and while she had this dress, she said a lot of freaky things went on in the house. And that made her believe that it was really weird. So she attributed it to the dress, I guess.
Oh yeah, spirits attached to specific objects.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I think it's...
That's why people have whole museums of haunted shit.
Any of the ghost shows that I watch, they always talk about that. Like, like, oh, the spirit of Frank Sinatra's here. And it's in, like, so many different places. I just feel like...
Like
I'm like, well,
Mexico.
maybe, like, when we live, we just have, like, gushers, like, coming out of us in the ethereal world. And we're just, like, emotion just splatters on the wall, like paint everywhere we go, and it's like a piece of us is stained there no matter where it is. That's why you can have different hauntings in all these different places.
I want to control how to do that because I want to haunt everywhere.
Right, we'll just take a shit on the carpet
Forever. Is that how you do it? I'll shit all over these walls.
No, you just have an emotional outburst. I think I would think like an extremely happy time, an extremely sad time, an extremely violent time, whatever it may be, and it
Go
just
for violent.
splats.
Violent everywhere.
It's like your body just squirts all over the wall.
I'll shit all over these walls. Man.
Also, the prison that they filmed in was actually a women's prison. So they
didn't have to change too much.
Yeah,
on the
they really
sign.
didn't. Yeah. Also, we mentioned what Anima Sola was in the horror shots, kind of, but it's based on a Roman Catholic tradition. The Anima Sola, or lonely soul is what it's called, is taken to represent a soul suffering in purgatory. Many cases, they have chromolithographs that depict a female soul, with many other figures such as popes and other men are commonly depicted in the chromolithographs. The sculptures and paintings they have of it. In the most commonly known image of the Anima Sola, a woman is depicted as breaking free from her chains in a dungeon setting surrounded by flames, representing purgatory. She appears penitent and reverent, and her chains have been broken, an indication that after her temporary suffering, she is destined for heaven.
Destined for heaven.
But I thought that was kind of interesting. There's a lot of different artwork on that, but there's a famous one of this woman with the chains, and that's if you type in Anima Sola, you'll find that picture immediately. So maybe I'll include it in the portion of this. So, but what about your favorite scenes? What did you think? Like, what were any that stood out to you, or maybe you wanted to point out that were bad?
Well, I like the first scene where she can't go home on the regular road that she's trying to go home on because there's an accident, or no, sinkhole. There's like a sinkhole or some shit, so she has to go a different route.
Okay.
So she takes that weird, creepy bridge, and which isn't that weird or creepy. It looks like a normal bridge.
Yeah, it's
but
the Beetlejuice
it's
bridge.
just like it looks like the Beetlejuice bridge, and I'm all no. Well, die there. You'll be a ghost forever. It's fine, and then you'll just
Danny
fucking
Elfman
dance
comes
around.
out,
Yeah,
all tap dancing.
it'd be fucking hilarious. I know. I was like, is that the actual Beetlejuice bridge? It's not.
It's not,
It's
yeah.
not. I think that about every bridge that looks like that. I'm always like, is that the bridge from Beetlejuice?
That's a
and then
really
I fucking
famous one,
research
yeah.
it like every time. Well, no, it's not. I get all
Like
sad.
when we did the In the Mouth of Madness.
I know. I was like, that's the bridge from Beetlejuice, isn't
Right.
it? And I fucking extensively Google searched that shit.
You
and
wanted it.
I wanted it to be, and it was not. It was not at all. Google slapped me in the face and was like, "Fuck you, bitch. It's not that fucking bridge." And I was like, "Damn it." Anyway, and she kind of looks away, and she's calling her husband on her cute old little flip phone. The little cute flip phones.
I know. I always think about that. I'm like, oh,
Love
they
it.
had them back then.
Oh, that, and then the internet cracked me the fuck up too when they're trying to look up the Anima Sola tattoo, and I'm like,
yeah. Where the internet was magic.
the pictures are loading, and they're all pixelated, and they take like 20 years to load, and I'm like, oh, dial up.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
yeah.
remember AOL.
Uh-huh.
I remember the DVDs. And get the free copies. Anyway, but so her first interaction with this ghost, or who, I guess, yeah, she's a ghost because she ends up possessing her. Mm-hmm. You don't know who the fuck she is. All you see is she's a woman standing there in a white gown with her blonde hair in her face, and she's
Shaking.
all bloody and cut up and cold because it's pouring rain.
Right.
So she swerves to miss her, ends up pushing her car into a ditch, and then comes out to try and help her, and then she takes off her jacket and doesn't give it to the girl. She just puts it on the ground, which I thought was weird.
Doesn't the girl grab her though, or that's why?
Not yet, but
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe you're right.
I feel like or maybe she was going to put the jacket around her, and then the girl that's when she grabs her face
Maybe,
and then
yeah.
sets her on fire or some shit. But yeah, because when they come back in the flashback later, she picks her jacket up
right
off the ground and puts it back on, and I'm like, why would you just put it on the ground? Why'd you take it off in the first place?
Why are you putting that wet rag
It's
on
fucking
you?
raining. What are you thinking?
And not just raining, raining.
It's fucking
Yeah.
pouring rain, torrential downpour.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And it's fucking cats and dogs are flying by in the background. And you're just like, holy, there's a horse and a fucking Twister back there. They filmed Twister on the other side of the set. It was crazy. Anyway, but I like that scene because it's the first initial, when we meet the ghost, pretty much. You have no fucking clue who she is or why she's there or whatever.
Well, everything from that point in the very beginning is really cool.
It is really cool. And there's a lot of really cool things in this movie. So it's I understand why people hate on it, but because there's a lot of inconsistencies. A lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, let's
I
point
get
out
it,
some that we
but,
can think of.
Why the fuck would you store mentally ill people in
A prison?
glass
Oh, yeah.
prison cells? Why?
Well, it's maybe it's special glass.
Why? No.
Yeah, and they
I
have
don't
these
care.
like weird
I don't care
locks.
how special it is.
The observation rooms that are much better than the fucking psychiatric
That's
ward.
what their observation cells.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
So
what they
these
call
are their
them, yeah.
observation cells. They're glass fucking cells. Like this from floor to ceiling glass.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's so fucking confusing to me. And especially since, like, you can obviously, they can pick up and move their beds and shit that are on the ground. They're
Right.
not, like, they're not soldered or whatever to the ground. Like, they move, because the scene later on where she goes fucking batshit.
Oh, that was a psych ward.
Oh, you're right.
Because that was like
That wasn't the glass
old
one.
cells that are real thin.
But I don't care either way. They don't specify the fact that it's, like, some special glass, so you just look at it and go, why are you storing people that are crazy?
Right. They probably just added it because it looked cool.
Because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And it does.
Probably wasn't even at the site of the prison.
It does look super cool. So
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, I get it aesthetically, but at the same time, I'm just like,
See, the one that really bothered
Right.
me is when she tries to escape.
that's bullshit too.
And then the guy
All
at
of
the
it.
front desk, because in the beginning of the movie, they show her talking to everybody, and everybody loves her. And it's like this stark world where she goes back, and all the people that she cared about and were friends with now don't think she's crazy, and how they look at her is really interesting. But the one guy who's the security guard at the front desk hands her the keys to his car.
you don't believe that part?
I don't believe
Oh,
that
I do
shit
all
at
day.
all. No way.
If some fucking bitch that I thought just killed her husband that's absolutely batshit crazy comes up to me and goes like this and tells me to be quiet because she's trying to escape, I would fucking give her my keys too. Take it, get the fuck away from me before she kills me too.
I don't think that. I would be
That's
more.
what I think.
I would have if I were. I mean, first of all, he's a security guard. That's not why he let her go. He let her go because
it's
they
his
were
friend.
friends. Yeah.
That's his friend. So
Yeah.
then I understand that because honestly, like, whether I would be scared of her or not, if that's my girlfriend, it's my homie, I'd be like, see you later.
I guess, but my problem
I
with
can
it,
see where you're coming
my
from.
problem is that how. I mean, she does say to the guard when she's leaving, before all this shit goes crazy, she's like, "Oh, make sure you tell your wife I said hi." You know, and I was thinking about it. I was like, do people really actually tell their significant others that person said hi?
If they know them.
Right.
I do.
But I'm thinking to myself, like, how well does she fucking know that guy? You know what I mean? Like, the
We don't
worst.
know, yeah.
She walks in and sees him every day. Sure, that doesn't mean you're going to fucking make him your fucking godfather. You know what I mean? Like, of your child. Like, I'm sorry, but
No, I get you.
it just makes no sense to me. Like, there was no character development between them to make me believe that.
That's all they had.
Right.
So that's all they had was that little tiny snippet, and that's why I guarantee you why they had that was so it would make sense why he'd give her the keys.
And a lot of people are apologizing in this movie, too. Oh, I'm so sorry I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, everybody.
I don't know. There's so many weird things. Like, and another thing that I didn't understand was when she successfully escapes, why would you not immediately go to her fucking house?
Yeah, I know. I thought that
Immediately.
too.
That's the first fucking place.
Yeah,
you
where
think
else
she's
is she
gonna
gonna go?
If you think she actually killed her fucking husband, she's gonna go. Regardless of what you think, she's gonna go back to the scene of the crime, quote unquote. She's gonna go back to her house. She doesn't believe she did it. She doesn't know what's going on. You think she did it. And even if maybe she did do it, and she wants to go cover some shit up or do whatever the fuck.
Right.
That's obviously that's where she's gonna fucking.
That's what
go.
I thought. When she grabs the key, I'm like, wait, is this her house? I'm like,
so stupid.
Why would you go back there? But she just didn't care.
No, then that's why I was like, you're gonna get caught. You're gonna get fucking caught.
There was a lot of other stuff in the movie that just is just like, what? But
Oh, and how it wasn't cleaned.
yeah, it wasn't. Oh, they didn't.
The crime scene.
Oh, they don't have to because she didn't have family and he didn't have family.
I don't know. They pretty much jump on top of that shit.
And the lights were still on too, by the way.
Yeah, the lights were still on. The shit wasn't cleaned up, and it's been weeks since the crime. And while I did appreciate the fact that they showed the worms and shit crawling through the rotted fruit
That was cool. Yeah.
in the kitchen. Loved that. However, if that shit was still upstairs left like that, all the blood and stuff everywhere, there would be fucking flies and larvae and maggots everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. The blood would not still be that color.
I thought about that too. And she walks up the stairs and steps on the blood, and it's
wouldn't be
like
fresh.
dry.
Yeah, well, it would be
It
dry.
would be hard.
Yeah, but it would be super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't squish down that carpet. That area would be hard and crusty.
Right.
And it would be kind of
At least the
flaking
color
off.
of the blood was darker.
It still wasn't not.
A lot of
it's not gonna look
movies
like
fuck that up.
They
At
do
least.
all the time. That's one of the
But
biggest
it's better
inconsistencies.
than most. But that's actually leading into one of the scenes that I was going to mention, because
I love that scene.
the only scene that I liked in this movie really is the scene where it shows her killing her husband, Doug Gray, and Dr. Doug Gray, and he's like at the top of the stairs dragging his dangle leg.
His dangle leg. Which is like
His
10
little
times
dangle
smaller
leg.
than his body. And I'm
Which
like, well, what?
I wondered how they did it, because like
It's cool as
it
fuck.
looks real. Like I
Yeah.
was like, his little leg that she chopped up with an axe is like fucking, I don't know, like it's really it looked fucked up. And then they didn't show the hand getting cut when he tries to block.
They kind of do.
They
They flash it,
it's
but they don't.
really quick.
But I mean, obviously their budget went to who was in the movie.
And
They
the
didn't-
dangle leg.
And the dangle leg. It didn't really go to a lot of practical effects or anything.
Right.
Which is a fucking shame, quite honestly, because
It could've
you're
just-
gonna
it
kill
could've
somebody
used it.
in that kind of a fucking manner. Show it.
Well, it was a PG-13 movie too,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of well, no, it was 2003. PG-13 didn't get to push the envelope as much back then.
No,
so this
not-
was
yeah.
pretty shocking for 2003.
Yeah, it was pushing the
PG-13.
boundaries,
Yeah, so this was a lot.
especially with the sexual connotations in it too.
Oh, because it got fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like real fast.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that coming. That's one of the things I really appreciated about
God
this movie
loves
is
and sees all his children.
how they circled that back.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Ew.
I don't know. He says it exactly like he said it to her, which really kind of makes it really dark.
It was gross.
Like,
Yeah.
if you guys are already listening to this point, I mean, obviously we're spoiling stuff at this point, but go ahead and tell what he
Oh, so
in
basically
the beginning and then the end.
like what he says.
Yeah, what he says in the beginning
Oh,
to her.
so he tells her she's having trouble with the case for Chloe or Penelope Cruz's character, and he tells her to throw water on a mirror, and he says, "So,
What do you see?
what do you see, or who is she in this situation, or no, what does she see?" And she sees a distorted image of herself, obviously, like the water on the mirror. And who are you in this scenario? And she says, "I'm the mirror."
Yeah.
And then and then she turns around to him. She's like, "Well, then who are you?" And he's like, "I'm God." And then it comes back later when it's revealed that
Yeah, it's like a cute moment in the beginning.
it is kind of a cute moment in the beginning, but then it comes back full circle to be really fucking creepy because he says, to tell you guys now, again, spoilers, but he's a fucking rapist and murderer, and he like abducts girls and tortures them in this fucking like basement under their farmhouse or some shit.
Yeah, Willow Creek.
Whatever. And he tortures them with his friend, who is the fucking cop.
Right.
And then eventually they kill them. And
Which
then
you don't
toss them
find out
somewhere.
right away.
No, you don't. They did a good
They
job
milk
hiding
it.
that. They do fucking milk it. But then at one point when she finds the fucking tapes of him slapping around this girl or whatever, and then he's like about to rape her or whatever he's doing, he turns the viewer thing on the camcorder around so he can see himself.
Right.
And then he starts like adjusting his tie and stuff. And what does he say? Like, man, it's good to be God or something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ew.
Like, yeah. Like he's using that line on his victims and his wife.
And his wife.
Like,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, well,
But-
yeah, it is creepy.
And they threw me with the girl that they find in the basement, or that she finds.
Right,
In there too. I was
yeah.
like, oh God, what the hell? Like, I thought that was another like deranged illusion, and they were actually like was this.
Why didn't you go back?
Why didn't
because
she
then I
leave?
want to get got. And I don't kill fucking animals, you bitch.
do
Yeah, I don't
that?
get off on fucking killing
I
animals.
love that conversation. That's actually one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, that's a good scene, I
is
guess. Yeah.
Her and what's his name? What's the character's name? Because I know it's not
Oh, Sheriff Ryan.
Sheriff Ryan. Okay, so or John. But so she's talking to Sheriff Ryan, and she's explaining to him that she knows the type, and that he wasn't alone or whatever, and that there's somebody else involved.
And she figures it out as he's
And
like realizing she's figuring it out.
Right. Who he's trying to get into her mind and see how much she knows and how much she's really put together. And the whole time that he's asking her these questions, she's putting it like completely solidifying the fact that he's the person that she thinks it is. So she figures it out pretty quickly, and then starts to kind of string him along by asking these exploratory questions to get him to open up more and say more.
As he's trying to figure out what
She's basically trying to get him to hang himself. essentially is what she's doing, and he starts to kind of catch on, but not really, and he's not really sure, but he's still trying to
I
get
don't
all
think
this
she
information
realized
out of
right
her.
away until he gave her clues a little
She
bit.
doesn't until like the middle of the conversation, and then she realizes what's going on, so then she starts fishing just like he's fishing, and then she basically throws it out there that she knows exactly who he is, and
Right.
he figures out she knows, and then
They have this big
they have
brawl.
this big old fight.
Which, by
right?
the way, what fucking... I don't care if it's a small podunk town, which it's not, by the way. This is a rich area
Yeah, they got
in the middle of fucking wherever.
they got their own big ass women's correctional facility. Like, fuck.
Nobody has one sheriff and then no other workers,
there.
especially when there's someone in the fucking holding cell. Like,
Yeah,
who does that?
Stupid. I know.
So they're like fighting and there's nobody there. He's like, I'll just say you escaped and now I can do anything I want. It's so stupid. And then the gas explosion, it was like so
all the
little.
effects, all the effects.
Yeah,
it
dude,
was
like
so bad.
they have this gas explosion that would have blown the fucking thing sky high.
Yeah.
That fucking pipe is huge. Like, clearly they're using a lot more gas than that place needs.
Yeah, and it takes it's like the fourth time
Yeah.
he shoots the fucking gun, then it finally like sets.
But it doesn't burn anything. Everything goes out real quick,
It
and
just
it doesn't.
goes on to him.
Yeah, like that explosion was fucking garbage.
So stupid. I know. I hate the end. I hate the ending from like that point,
Right.
and then all the way to the actual end of the movie. I fucking hate, and I hate the actual end. I hate the ending.
Yeah,
I hate how they end the fucking movie.
I don't like. Well, they're like, oh, now she sees other dead people.
They bring it to like it's gonna be a sequel.
It's Stir of
But it doesn't make
Echoes,
any
guys.
fucking
But
sense.
watch, if you had to pick between the two guys, pick Stir of Echoes.
I'm like, stop. Like,
Have you
why?
seen Stir of Echoes?
No.
Oh my God, you need to watch that.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
You should watch that tonight or whatever with Mouse. If you haven't seen it, you
yeah, it
should.
sounds good.
It's good. I think it's on Amazon too. I prefer it over this.
Probably.
But she does. I think she did a really good job in the acting role. I think it's an okay movie. It's an average movie with a big budget,
I like
pretty
it.
much.
It has a lot of cool scenes that pretty much like almost make up for it. Like disassociate yourself with the logistics of what's going on, and
The beginning
you'll probably
was cool.
enjoy it.
I
but-
like the beginning. I thought the beginning was legit.
Yeah, the first half is really solid, and then it starts to take towards the middle. It starts to kind of go a little weird,
It went wonky for me
And then it gets-
after the first act.
real fucking weird. But then that they do it kind of well, I guess, with their plot twist. It's interesting, and you're like, well, that came out of left field, and I didn't anticipate that fucking at all.
Right.
And I didn't. I didn't think he'd be a rapist murderer at all. I mean, he could totally do it. 'Cause he's
I
weird,
started to
but-
catch on right before he went into the cell. I was like, wait, I thought there was another guy because that was what Not
Oh, with
Alone
him, I
is.
figured that out.
Yeah.
with John's character, like I figured that out pretty quickly. But
no.
I meant the husband.
Oh, the husband, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that that's where they were gonna take the movie. Like I didn't know how she was gonna prove it wasn't her, or if she was even, because they don't really allude to the fact that it's not. It's just her
Right.
saying it's not her, and you're like battling yourself on. Do you believe her or not? Like, is she fucking nuts, or is she telling the truth? She didn't actually do it. Is she possessed? And then how they put in the whole possession is fucking weird too. Like, why would they fucking go after and kill that guy's daughter?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's like their boss.
Yeah, that is weird too.
He's like
yeah.
the main boss, and I'm like, why would they kill that dude's?
Early on, I
kid?
was like, oh, was he part of it? Did he kill his own daughter or something? And then I was like, oh, that's not right.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just didn't. None of that made sense to me. Like how they come across her character, or how they.
Right.
It felt like an afterthought of how they put her character into it, and how they explain her backstory, and why
Yeah.
she's what possesses them. I'm like, why does he have to be part of it at all?
Yeah.
That character, I don't understand, because he's like the main. He's a step up above like her husband's
It's a
character.
throwaway character.
So he's legit like their boss, or his boss. And I'm like, why would he? But I guess that's trying to show his power, or the fact that he can get away with whatever he wants to. But
yeah, because he thinks he's God.
I
so,
guess so, like
yeah.
maybe now I just answered my question. I guess now it makes sense. But whatever.
So I mean, if you had to give it a rating, what would you give it?
I'd probably give it like a solid like 4.5 or 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it much more than that.
No, I wouldn't give it more than that.
I was surprised. I
but-
thought you were going to be higher, like a 6 or something.
I mean, I think it's a good movie. But do I think it's fucking incredible? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think Halle Berry is one of the biggest reasons why I give it that kind of a score, because she's
Sure.
fantastic. And John as well is why I give it. He's good.
Yeah, he's really creepy.
Fucking solid in everything he does, and this is like his first initial role to being that type of character, and I think he did a really good job, and that opened up a lot of doors for him. And now he gets to, I don't know. I feel like if I ever wanted to play repetitive roles, I would always want to be a serial killer too, so that's pretty cool.
And John Carroll Lynch we're talking about, by the way, guys, is like that balding guy. He's like bald, pretty much.
Tall, bald guy.
Yeah, and he's like oafy, kind of big guy. He's really good at the creepy role, and if you watch some of the interviews with him about anything, he's just so well-spoken, like a serial killer anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he just talks like, oh, her performance was absolutely delightful.
He's great listening
to his
man. Interviews. I like watching him.
Dude, I fucking love him in the Invitation. I'm telling you, this creepiest, most uncomfortable fucking role he's done. It is really like
Is that the dinner party movie?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He tells the story about how he kills his wife, and it's just like you could cut the fucking tension in the room with a knife. Yeah, like,
I love that. He's an incredible actor.
And then he just turns it back into like making you feel comfortable and uncomfortable.
Yeah, we should do like.
We already did that one.
No, not that one. But I'm saying we should do another episode of like movies he's in, or at least another movie he's in.
John Carroll Lynch.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, maybe we can. Well, what do you guys think? Have you seen this movie? Would you go see this movie? We had to rent it. I couldn't find it anywhere else.
No, I had to rent it too. It's like $3.
Yeah, it was like $3. It was really not that bad. But
I was surprised. I thought it would have been somewhere else, and I remember it was on Netflix.
It was for the longest time, and like
I feel like every time we go to watch something,
I know.
it's fucking not on anymore.
It's because
like
we see it and it sits in the back of our heads, and then we're like, oh yeah.
I feel like Netflix listens to the show, and they're like, they're gonna watch this movie next week. Pull it.
Yeah, or maybe the film producers,
get it off. Get it off. And make them pay. Make them pay. They're gonna review our movie. They're gonna pay for it, and that's exactly what it feels like.
Hey man, they gotta make some money somewhere.
You're fucking welcome.
They made, and the crazy thing is they made like almost 4 times the amount.
Just nuts, right?
And it still got low ratings, so it's weird.
Yeah, and everyone shat on it, but they still paid to go see it. So.
Right, I guess so. Well, guys, I think that's it for our Flesh and Potatoes today. We will not be back on Thursday, but we will be back on Monday. Really got a lot of work that I'm doing, so I hope you understand again. I know some of you do. If you can, of course, try to share the episode if you enjoyed this, or any of the episodes we do for that matter. It really goes a long way to help us reach more people and grow. Find more like-minded individuals like yourself. So thank you guys for listening, and
stay weird, monsters.
Void Horror Podcast. Tune in every Monday for a brand new episode.